Going to preach this a whole lot different, but the Spirit says otherwise. The Spirit says otherwise. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Amen. For those of you that feel like standing, you can stand. For those of you that have stood most of the service and you're unable to stand, then that's totally fine. Deuteronomy chapter 28. God, I thank you. Give me, what time is it? 12:35. Y'all give me 12 minutes and I'll be done. Amen? Amen. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Bridget, beginning at verse 28. The text says, "The Lord will afflict you with madness, blindness, and confusion of mind. Ajane, at midday, Bridget, you will grope about like a blind person, Zach, in the dark. Jeray, you will be unsuccessful in everything you do. Day after day, you will be oppressed, DJ, and robbed with no one to rescue you." Again, verse 28 says, "The Lord will afflict you with madness," Sister Gloria, "blindness," and Minister Will, "and confusion of mind." You may rest in your seats in the presence of the Lord. For the next few moments, Deacon TB, that of mine, Mother Mosley, I want to talk about why am I still struggling in this season. I need you, Angel, to look at somebody on your row and just ask them that question. Why am I still struggling in this season? Now, I know that usually when you come to church, DJ, we love to hear sermons of how the Lord is going to bless us, Fran, how the Lord is going to prosper us, KT. But every now and then, Minister Will, the text says the Lord will afflict you with madness, Janelle, blindness, and confusion of mind. Mitch, I want to ask you a question as I ride through this sermonic text and not be before you long. I want to ask you, do you know any mad folk? Do you know, Bridget, any blind folk? Okay, y'all didn't say amen, so let me try it this way, Sister Sheila. Do you know any confused folk? I mean, Monita, I'm talking about folk who say Genovia one thing one day, and then if you see them the next day at the same time, they're talking something totally different. Lavanya, I'm talking about mad folk who get up mad, who go to work mad, who Lazarus get off work mad. They just mad. They mad when they ain't got money. They mad when they get paid. I'm just talking about mad folk. Now, I get that you may be mad the first 6 days of the week, but how in the world do you show up on Sunday morning with an attitude? I dare you to grab your neighbor's hand and say, "Mad, confused, and blind." I'm doing the best I can, sir. I've only got 8 minutes left. Here it is. The text says, "At midday, you will grope about like a blind person in the dark." And Evangelist Wiggins, you will be unsuccessful in everything you do. Day after day, you'll be oppressed and robbed. Evangelist Monique, if I had time, I would ask you, I wonder, do you know any oppressed folk? Because you ain't got to be locked up to be locked up. See, with all this Holy Ghost in here today, some of y'all ain't even lifted a hand. You might be oppressed. Have you ever felt felt like you just can't get ahead? Have you ever felt like you can't get out the hole? Some of y'all have been waiting on tax time since tax time last year. And soon as you filed your taxes, something else in the house went wrong. Tap your neighbor, say, I can't get out the hole. Some of y'all ain't even gonna file your taxes because it's a depressing moment because you know you gotta pay some money you ain't got. I can't get out the hole. Just when life appears to be moving forward, you find yourself dealing with letdowns, setbacks, misfortunes, and just one bad thing after. So one family member dies, and before you can get over them dying, somebody else is in the hospital. Just when you get that one child straight and you get them on the road to progress, Daniel, all of a sudden it looks like the least expected one takes a turn in the other direction. Have you ever, Pastor Regina, just felt like it's never enough? I never have enough. You want more, you need more, and could use more. Are there any of the more folk in here that could use more, want more, need more? I need about 3 of y'all just to say it ain't nothing wrong with wanting more. But if I had time, because they're waving me on in to land the plane. No, they're waving me on in to land the plane. I'll pick back up on Tuesday. Let me give you 5 reasons for the lack in your lives. 5 reasons. Let me make sure I got the right house. Anybody in here could use more, need more, and want more? Let me make sure I got the right house. All right. 5 reasons. 5 reasons for the lack in our lives. That's all I want to talk about for the next few moments. 5 reasons why I have lack in my life. The first reason is because we have a rebellious spirit. We got a rebellious spirit. See, if I had time, I was really going to break that down. But the scripture reference for it, and y'all know I must really feel like teaching because I don't normally walk through the text like this. Normally I stay with one text. But for future reference, when you get home, I want you to look up Proverbs 13 and 18. Proverbs 13 and 18. Proverbs 13 and 18. And I'm just going to briefly just read it for you, just real quick. Proverbs 13 and 18 says, whoever disregards discipline comes to poverty and shame. But whoever heeds correction, somebody say correction, will be honored. Part of the reason why some of us are going through a season of lack is because we've got a rebellious spirit. You just want to do stuff your way, and you don't want anybody, including God, to tell you any different. So the first reason that we experience lack is because of a rebellious spirit. But then the second reason we experience lack is because we have a jealous spirit. I dare you to look at everybody on your road. I told you if I really had time to preach it, I was going to lift it. I dare you to look at everybody on your road and say, saints are jealous. Ladies, I wish I had 3 women in here that would just testify, Aubrey, that some women don't like you, don't know you, ain't never had a conversation with you, but they've never spoken to you. Felicia, because they got a jealous spirit. And I dare you to elbow your neighbor and say, neighbor, and as long as you continue to be jealous of me, you will always be behind me. Because God ain't going to bless you until you start learning how to clap for somebody else. And right there's a real good space for you to start clapping, Bridget, for Evangelist Wiggins, and Wiggins for you to start clapping for Bridget. Because when you learn how to praise God for your neighbor, then God will send the stuff. I'll see y'all ain't even clapping. See, preachers, when you learn how to celebrate other preachers, God will start opening up doors for you. But because you sit there with your arms folded, because you ain't got the mic, because ain't nobody asked you to pray, sing, or preach, you ain't getting no door. ain't gonna get a boo until you stop being a boo hater. Boy, I wish I had time to work it through here. But somebody shout, we got a jealous spirit. And that's why we have so much lack in our lives. Number 3, y'all really not gonna like me through here. The plane is landing. But let me give you number 3. We've got a lazy spirit. Trustee Myrtle, I've never seen a generation, Travis, quite like this. John Wade, I know this don't happen. I know no, this don't happen at Harvest. I know this don't happen at Harvest. But John Wade, I've never seen folk that want to get a check, but don't want to do no work. Oh, so don't look at me like that. Some of y'all work with them. You do your work and they work. And you trying to figure out, well, if I'm doing both our work, then I need to get both our. Oh, my God. I dare you to high five your neighbor and say, neighbor, just got a lazy spirit. I ain't never seen nothing quite like it. Folk want to ride around in Benzes, BMWs, ride fancy, but don't nobody want to work. High five your neighbor and say, it costs me to get what I got, and it costs me to keep what I got. The reason some of us got lack is because I wish there was another way I could say it, but some of us, Bianca, just I can't get a job. Is it you can't get one or you can't get the one? And see, what I've learned, John Wade, is every now and then, sir, you might have to cook the burgers. God Almighty, John Wade, I'm preaching to you right now. See, you didn't start out as the manager. You started out in the back, oh Lord Jesus. You started out in the back of the restaurant. That's why the word says that he'll take the last and make the last. But see, you want to start out first. You want to walk in the job, angel. They ain't got no experience. They ain't got no degrees. They ain't been out of school but 2 days. And they want to come in and try to tell you what to do. My God, today, you need to tap your neighbor and say, I rebuke the spirit of lazy. Ladies, and this just ain't for the ladies, Lord, I'm over my time. Here it is. This university, it ain't just for the ladies, because I've discovered that it ain't just men that are lazy. But we got some. Y'all better be lucky I ain't got time to work it. How you gonna keep somebody? You complaining because you gotta go to work and cook. You complaining because you gotta go to work and he want to spend some time alone with you after a long day. You tired. I dare you to tap your neighbor and say, you better get an energy drink or something, because it's somebody that's standing outside your door. You can keep being lazy if you want. I'm just talking to the curtains right through here. I'm just talking to the curtains right through here. We got a lazy. You wonder why you can't get nobody, can't keep nobody. I don't know a woman that want a lazy man, and I don't know a man. So now if you don't want nobody lazy, what makes you think God want lazy cut? Look at everybody on your row and tell them God don't want no lazy saints. I'm done. Some of us got lack because you just. How many of y'all got more than one job in here? You got more than one job. Now look at this. You got all these folks, they got They got 2, 3 jobs. I ain't gonna ask Will how many jobs he got. Because Will just work around the clock. He go to one job, leave that job, come to church, go back to work. But what's amazing is you got folk with 3 jobs. And you don't want to. Now, I ain't talking about those of y'all that are filling out applications that they just ain't getting no callbacks. I ain't talking to you. But I'm talking to the folk that ain't even sending out applications. Here it is. It is. Let me give you number 4. We have an ignorant spirit. Tell your neighbor, say, now, before you get mad, he ain't called you ignorant. He called the spirit ignorant. Show it to me in the text. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, literally, that God's people are perishing because we ain't got no. We're allergic to learning. Because you go into the job already thinking you know everything. You come into church, you don't ever open the Bible because you already believe it ain't nothing nobody, including God, can tell you. I'm a student with 4 degrees for the rest of my life. Because I always believe that there's something else I can learn. And some of us, because we don't want to learn. Now, y'all, I'll be the first to admit, and I got to wrap it up, but I don't really like computers. You with me, Miss Jones? Yeah, I don't like computers. They ain't never done nothing to me but cut off when I needed them to. Am I the only one in here that don't really like computers? But now, we live in Kalisha in an age of technology. Now I can work the Jesus out this cell phone. Or I can text you, But now you put me in front of a laptop, you put me in front of a desktop, I freeze right up on you. I got 4 degrees. But you put me in front. There you go. But here's what was deep. When I got hired for my new position, there was no way Galena around the computer. So they hired me. I did real well. On the interview, talked my way, Brother Ward, right through it. And about after they got done with the training, Sweet Lou, that first week, they sent me into my office, had my 2 computers. I said, I got 2 of them. Got a laptop over here and a desktop right here, and I'm like, dog, what in the world? I was sitting in there, I had my door closed, I'm sweating. Beads of sweat past Virginia just running. And I'm in there with the door closed like, oh, great Jesus. Now, they done gave me this assignment. They done trained me. So I either gotta sink or swim. So Deacon Thurman, I committed myself to learning what I needed to learn in order to be in the position that I'm in. What am I trying to tell you? You gotta get to a place where you're able to sit and be taught. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow. Yes, sir. Here's the last thing. My God. Number 5. Reason why we have lack. Number 1, we got a rebellious spirit. Number 2, we got a jealous spirit. Number 3, we got a lazy spirit. Number 4, we got an ignorant spirit. But lastly, some of us got a disobedient spirit. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 20. If I had time, I was going to unpack it for you, but you just read it when you get home. But the reason I read that text to you is that was God's curse over his people because they were disobedient and rebellious. So as you go through this season, before you give up on God, before you give up on the church, and before you give up on yourself, ask yourself honestly, Sister Jackie, why am I really struggling? Amen. Am I struggling because I'm rebellious and I just refuse to change? Am I struggling because I'm jealous and envious of other folks' stuff? Am I struggling because I'm just lazy? I'm used to having stuff my way. I'm used to folk catering to me. And so, God, I don't know how to dig myself out of what I'm in. Or am I struggling because I've got an ignorant spirit that refuses to receive knowledge from other folk? You ever had a friend with a problem and you had to answer to help them with the problem, but you couldn't get a word in because they were telling you what was wrong and they were telling you how they were going to fix it, and you were sitting there looking at your phone like, well, if you call me asking for advice, but I can't get advice in, then why you call me? And then lastly, some of us just got a disobedient spirit. And even after this sermon today, some of us are going to go right back tomorrow to acting, doing, and responding the very same way. But if you want to get over the lack in your life, look at those 5 areas and ask yourself, am I being rebellious? Am I being jealous? Do I have a spirit that's just disobeying the knowledge of God? As we prepare to pray and as we get ready to get out of here today, I want you all to be prayerful. And I'm going to say this while we're here. I had a real long talk with our owner this week. It was a real tough talk, but it was a real honest talk. And as I shared on the leadership call on Thursday night, beloved, we've literally got about a little less than a month